all my life. Prison life. Why is it so? I'm legally a blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice. Hoping. Because you gotta hold your breath for justice to see justice before all phase two blink. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Girl, this is absolutely the third time I'm trying to really do this video, so now I'm on live. Crazy. Anyways, let's just get to it because I've tried to record a video. I was trying to finish my video where I was reviewing the story of the Ohio 4 wrongfully incarcerated, but now my video storage is full, which I don't understand. I just deleted 2 hours worth of video and still don't have no storage, so this is the way it go. Anyways, let's get to it. You know, when I do live, it's a hit or miss. Sometimes live comes out all pixelated and you can't even see. So I pray that it does come out visually. You're able to see me drawing because I was utilizing video storage, like actually recording, rather than relying on lives, because lives you don't know if you're recorded until after you're done and you're trying to watch it back. But anyways, this is Richard Taylor. This is my second project, Reach the World of this year. We're going to listen to him speaking to one of the Ohio 4 as I finish up this project, Reach the World. So I'm trying to hurry up and finish it and get it out to him. Tomorrow is a holiday, so the post office is not open. But by Tuesday, before I take myself back to my work shift, wait, Mama, she gonna break in here? Hold on, y'all. Yes, Mommy. You can't come in now, Mommy. Grandma trying to fit. Okay, Grandma be out there with you in a little bit. Let me finish my picture, and then I'll be out there with you. She want me to watch her shows. I'm getting tired, and I got Bizzo in the morning. But she want me to watch TV with her. So let me finish this up. I'm sorry. So hopefully tomorrow, after visitation, I get that second part of the reading that article about the Ohio 4. So let's find his video. It is so challenging trying to keep it. Me and Martella had a long discussion about YouTube today. And it's like anytime I tell him that maybe I'll do that in another one. I'm sorry. That's a whole nother video. But yeah, I'll just say that when God gives you a vision, He gives it to you. He doesn't always give it to everyone around you. And you do want everyone around you to support you, to believe in you, to like, share, subscribe, and all of that stuff, to help you until you can lay the groundwork, and then you can gladly take off on your own, right? But many times our closest loved ones don't like to participate when we need them most. Now, we don't really need them like that once we get the plane off the ground, for it. But that's when they'll want to come back and, support you once you've done the hard part on your own. But he was basically saying, no matter what, you make time for videos. It don't matter what else you have to do. You're going to be trying to do a video. And I'm trying to get him to understand, which is hard because he is incarcerated. So he lives in a different whole almost different dimension than we live in, honestly. They live in their own little society. So he can't understand. And it's like I can try to explain it to him the best I can, but it's still, he doesn't understand. Like, there are people that completely make multimillionaire businesses off of videos, starting with just making videos. So I know that if I stay consistent, and one day it's like I've been chipping away at the iceberg, but I feel the ice cracking. But he thinks it's just videos. And many times, like, I think my dad thinks it's just videos. He just thinks when he sees me around the house with my laptop, he thinks I'm free. I'm like, I'm actually working. He doesn't see it as work. Now the thing doesn't want to, my internet. But yeah, and it's like once the vision actually comes together, like example, I'm sure people are like, Noah, you always building on that art, that old art. Ain't you got some? How you always you can't do nothing else but build on the art. You see it ain't doing nothing. You just got this big old hunk of whatever sitting up on this land talking about you trying to prepare for a flood. For real. Can you imagine all the talking that people did? But when it finally took effect, and they was trying to get up on his ark. And it's like you can see the vision because God gave you the vision, but he didn't necessarily, or if he came to you showing you in a dream like I've had dreams, he didn't place that dream in all the people in my circles dream that night. He showed me. When he showed me that dream, I told you this year, where he said I was free to go. And I took that as though all the things that held me back in the past, because for me, it's been very difficult to let go of my past failures because all I've done is fail. And it's hard for me to believe that I can do anything other than fail. But that dream to me meant that he cleared the way and he told me to go through. So everything thus far on Project Reach the World, though it has not reached my own backyard, it's one day gonna take effect, and all the people that truly doubted, wouldn't lift a finger to support me, it's gonna be crazy. And then you know what? Because people love the gaslight, they gonna say, I always supported you. I always knew you were gonna make it. I always believed in what you were doing. Or when Marcello comes on, I always knew he was innocent. Yeah, but why you wouldn't sign his petition? You wouldn't share it, but you knew he was innocent. People always support you post needing them to. Okay. I'm sorry for taking so long to get into this. I'm trying to find it. Ohio 4. Here it is. And let's finish this up. So I can try to beat count tomorrow again. Okay, so it says John Shickham Edwards.
I've always wanted to get my MBA.
That is super loud, that ad. Speaks about still being locked up over 30 years for a crime he did not commit. People truly don't believe wrongful convictions happen. So dedicated my life to trying to show
I
people.
didn't like to do it. It's something about I didn't like what they would. I didn't know. We didn't know he was a crackhead. Number one. Number two, we didn't know that his father was an informant. Because I didn't deal with people. You know what I'm saying? So right now, most likely, like dealt with him more than I did. I didn't deal with him. So anyway, unbeknownst to us, PB comes with a story. First, his father comes with a story
Where's the
that they got
picture?
an award for the double homicide. His father comes with a story that we, PB owed us money, and PB goes to Al and was like, yo, if you need somebody beat up or whatever, I'm the man or whatever, this, that, and the third. And for some apparent reason, we went over to Floyd F's house. To this day, I still don't know where Sunset or Projects or whatever the name is, wherever Floyd was at. I don't even know where it's at. To this day, I still don't know where they tell me the address. I'm like, where in the lane? Like, I know where the train tracks and all that is at, but I don't know allegedly we supposed to went over there. So we go over there, and Marsha's supposed to be over there. PB's supposed to be Marsha. He refused to because he said he went to school with her. So four grown men, it's supposed to be me, Monday, Vincent, and Wendy. That's four grown men. We're supposed to attack this female, beat her unconscious, drag her across the field, put her into a car, and take her to wherever she got murdered at. This is PB's story. All right. Peace and blessings. All praises to the Most High. The man that you just heard is John Shaquem Edwards, who is 1/4 of the Ohio Four, which were wrongly convicted in Lorain, Ohio, for the 1991 murder of Marsha Blakely and his co-defendant Linworth Edwards, Benson David, and Alfred.
That would have been incarcerated since I was 10 years old, 1991.
Were all convicted. However, the prosecutor, J.D. Tomlinson, who was the prosecutor at that time, has recently came out, as recently as November the 12th, 2024, as you see from this document, and have asserted that these men are innocent. You see his name at the top.
Do you know that has to hold weight? Because the prosecutors, that's not in their interest to do that. And from what I understand from this case, the man was kind of on his way out the door from being the prosecutor. So basically, I guess he's trying to do the right thing on the way out. Because, yeah, but they don't do that. And it's been a couple of times, like even in Kevin Strickland's case, the prosecutor was coming back saying, "Hey, we messed his case up." So you gotta listen when these people that doesn't happen. That's like if the judge came back and said, "I did this." Like, why isn't an ear given to it? That's major. Prosecutors don't do that. Even when they know they shouldn't be convicting you, they still going through and press for a conviction. When they know you're innocent, they know there ain't no evidence. So when they say there's nothing here or we did it wrong, why isn't an ear given to them? It's crazy. It's because they want that conviction.
Prosecuting attorney, and read his statement. John Austin Edwards, Linwood Edwards, Benson Davis, and Alfred Cleveland are innocent men. They had no involvement in the murder of Marsha Blakely, yet these men have served decades in Ohio's prison systems for a crime they did not commit. We respectfully request that your office take all steps necessary to vacate their convictions for the murder.
And just to let you know, not every single state, when I hear of these wrongful convictions stories being broken, people are like, "Oh, I hope you're gonna sue to the fullest." And then, every state you cannot sue. Each state has their own laws. Like in the Kevin Strickland, I believe was he in Ohio as well? I forgot where's Kevin Strickland from? I got my computer right here. I believe it's Ohio. 42 years wrongfully in prison. Oh, I'm sorry, Missouri. So I was wrong. It's not Ohio, it's Missouri, but it's still the Midwest. So they got a lot of mess going on in the Midwest. And that rhymed and I wasn't even trying. But yeah, that prosecutor came back and was saying that they miscarried that case. And it's not always of course, it's not the ones that actually were pressing through for the wrongful convictions. It's ones, new people are elected into these spaces and they come in and they're trying to do the right thing, such as our state attorney here in Orange County and Seminole County that came, Monique Worrell, that came and set up the conviction integrity unit because upon taking office the first time in 2020, she realized there were a lot of cases that were not all copacetic. And they said then that the conviction integrity unit would review your case. Well, of course, I submitted that case, my husband's case, to there, but I haven't heard anything back because I guess it takes time because there's so many people botched up in the system. But then our governor had took her down because he said that she was letting too many criminals go. So freeing innocent people is letting criminals go. That's what he equates that to. So they took her down out of her office, and girl, she got reelected. So I do have to sit down and do some research to see did she get the conviction integrity unit back up and running. I surely don't want to get my hopes up that I can do anything to break my husband's story or get him home or that, oh, she's back in office. She might look at his case now. I hate getting my hopes up because they just get dashed because nothing ever comes through. But, yeah, she, instead of listening to these people coming forward trying to do the right thing by the people that elected them, they basically just ignore it and say, no, the people that actually botched the whole situation is the ones we should believe. Like, I don't know. It's very depressing how this system is. And just covering it, it's kind of been taking a mental toll on me. So I've been trying to listen to more spiritual stuff, trying to get back to my chosen one, my Latoya O'Keefe. I gotta go find you, girl, Kate from Set Apart to Serve, because I know she'd get me right back on track. Like, I gotta get back in that mind space. Though it feels like I should be helping bring attention to this, it takes too much. And it's like the heap of hard work you're putting into it, your blood, sweat, tears, and all your years that you're putting into it is not amounting to nothing. We're not even scratching the surface. And the way they got this so fortified, it don't seem like we can ever get this system to change. Like, honestly, and I hate to sound negative, but it just don't feel like it's gonna change.
And felonious assault of Marsha Blakely. As I stated, that statement was compiled November the 12th, 2024. Now, as of today, John Shaquem Edwards and another one of his co-defendants still are in prison. I had a chance to interview him, and I'm going to play the entirety of that interview shortly. But I just want to bring some highlight to this case. These gentlemen are basically in jail based off the sole testimony of an eyewitness, supposedly an eyewitness that you heard him talking about, who recanted his story shortly after the convictions. And you can read his statement here. At the trial.
Now, they believe them when they're lying to get someone convicted, but when they come back and recant, they never believe them. That's crazy, ain't it?
Al Monday and those charged with him, I testified under oath that I was an eyewitness to Alfred Cleveland, who I knew as Monday, along with other people I knew as JR, Will, and Shaquem, Mr. Edwards, beat Marsha Blakely at Floyd Epps Apartments and then murdered her behind Charlie's Bar in Lorraine. All of this was a lie. I never witnessed the murder of Marsha Blakely, was not with her or Al Cleveland the night she was murdered. I only done it for the money, and everything was not true. And so, even after this man, whose testimony was the sole basis of the prosecution's case against these four men, was recanted, the prosecution in the state of Ohio still refused to grant these gentlemen freedom. And Shaquem, the one you're going to hear shortly, is still languishing in the Ohio State prison. Now, if you've been familiar...
Hold on, I said they don't like to admit to error, but it's not really a true wrongful conviction would be off of human error. I believe these to be wrongful convictions on purpose. There's no mistakes. They could have mistakes, but they're deliberately doing these things. They're cutting too many corners. They're doing too many, like using eyewitness. And you know the leading cause in wrongful conviction is eyewitness misidentification. I even did a video about that where they were saying eyewitnesses usually are the worst witnesses. I'm sorry, the victims themselves are usually the worst eyewitnesses. But see, these eyewitnesses, they're getting and giving them something for their eyewitness testimony. This is why these trials usually don't be as fair as people believe them to be, fair and just. They're really not, none of the such. It's a lot of people, and then even like in my husband's case, there was no witnesses, which is a bold-faced lie. How could there not be witnesses at a club on the busiest night and right before one of the most famous dances is about to start? There's no witnesses. It's a lie. But they made the alleged victims a witness, and then they took the officers' statements as witnesses. So they had 3 different officers said to be witnesses, and the 2 victims, alleged victims of the crime that never even happened, a fabricated crime, had them be witnesses. So those were their 5 witnesses. What about the canvas of the neighborhood? What about all the people that would have been in the parking lot? What about, like, literally, that's why they said there was no surveillance, because they knew showing the surveillance would show there had to be hundreds of witnesses to what happened or what didn't happen. But they want to keep with the narrative that there's no witnesses. So they use the victims, alleged victims, as witnesses. They run off. They don't want nothing to do with this. Don't even show up to trial. They were forced, and they moved to a different state. They moved to Vermont. They were forced by my husband's defense lawyer to come back to Florida and testify and give their eyewitness. So that is the sole evidence of the case built against my husband. They didn't want nothing to do with it, but they were made to testify. So they can either pay you like they saying this guy was paid, or they can force you, or like in other cases that I've studied, they'll hold over your head if you do have any kind of background or cases. They can open up your old cases and they'll threaten to hold this against you and that against you if you do not cooperate and give that eyewitness testimony. So it's all really shady. So how do you know when they're actually, if they do these bad practices so much, how do you know when they're actually really doing things correctly? Like, how do you have, like they said, conviction integrity unit? How do you know when the conviction actually has integrity? Because if you got 4 men wrongfully incarcerated for Ms. Blakely's deletion, she didn't get justice. All they got was spot fillers, bed fillers, cell fillers. They got money off of the situation, but they didn't give her justice. And then the family hearing this all these years from 1991, hearing, wait, the people that we thought deleted our loved one did it? That means you allowed her person that deleted her to be out on the street for this long? That's no justice for no one. I'm sorry, I'm not. Excuse me. Nobody gets justice out of that. Except for, it's not justice, but they get paid out of that. The system gets.
Well, maybe with this channel, we've been covering a lot of instances in Ohio when they talk about how corrupt the police, the prosecutions, the courts, and the entire judicial system is in Ohio. So this is just one instance, and you can go to the website that you see on the screen, freetheohio4.com for more information. But just hear the testimony, the story of Mr. John Chuckham Edwards as he explains how he got caught up in the situation and why he is still fighting for justice to be free.
Hello, this is a prepaid debit call from an inmate at the Ross Correctional Institution. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call. This call is from a DRC correctional facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Utilization of an unapproved application and 3-way calls to communicate are
Their
strictly prohibited in
GTL intro
violation of
sounds
DRC
different than what we
Thank you for
did.
using GTL. Thank you for
Start
using
the
GTL.
conversation now.
Peace, how you doing, Bishop?
Peace, Kim. How are you?
I'm great, man. Great. I'm the circumstances. I'm great.
Okay, yeah, man.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the call and being interested in my situation. Okay. All right, peace. My name is John Edwards.
Mama, grandma almost done.
I'm 54,
Yeah.
55 years old. I'm from Queens, New York. And my situation is, well, back in 1988, me and some friends came to Lorraine, Ohio during the explosion of the crack era. And it was like, what we sold for $5 in New York was like $40, $50 down here. So we came down here and we get fast money. And, we was doing our thing and everything. And, sometimes we get caught in an illusion, because we all about getting fast money. So I was down here from 88 to 91. So while I was down.
And now a lot of people take that holier than thou stance and say, well, he was out there in the streets, shouldn't have never been in the streets, and he couldn't have got wrongfully convicted. He shouldn't have never did. They love to do that. They love to justify constitutional rights being violated, them not going by the law. They love to justify all of that because you're deemed to be a criminal, right? So once they give you, that's almost like a damaged goods label. So once they put that damaged goods label on you, and even when our loved ones incarcerated, you love Peppa Pig. When our loved ones incarcerated, when they are hurt at the hands of, yes. Okay, you know how to press OK so you can play Peppa Pig? Okay, do that for Grandma. I'm almost done. Almost. But when we want justice for our loved one, because just because they're incarcerated don't mean you have the right to be jumping on them, beating them, doing this, doing that, hurting them. The woman here in Florida that came out a paraplegic, like, what gives you the right to do all of that? because the person was convicted. You don't even know what they're convicted of. Number one, you don't know if they're innocent or guilty. Just because they're convicted does not let you know whether they're innocent or guilty. You don't know what they're allegedly guilty of. Is it small? Is it big? Is it this? Is it that? You don't know none of the above, but just because the person has a criminal background, you're gonna basically turn a blind eye to, but then they're actually, so what I'm getting from this, it's okay if those in the system commit crimes because they're not convicted of the crimes, they're justified in it. But once you get convicted, any and everything that happens to you is fair game. It's okay. Like, does that reasoning even make any sense? But that's how people look at it. That is why it's so hard when you're advocating for someone wrongfully incarcerated, because they'll listen to you tell that whole long case. And then I'll say, yeah, I feel bad for you, but he shouldn't have never did what he did. And you'd be like, did you just listen? Like, literally, I got TMJ, my jaw hurt after telling you this story. And you still telling me he shouldn't have did what he did? Like, girl, like, I don't know. People's minds are gone. And their hearts are gone too.
Still having a son down here, and I had a group of friends who was getting money, and one particular night, I was supposed to be on my way to New York the next morning. So my baby mother was planning to me, because you know I'll be running, and I will be at home spending time, and she couldn't come to New York with me, flying out the next morning. So I took her, her mother, her cousin from DC, and her sister. So it was two sisters that's related to my baby mother, my baby mother's mother, and then my baby mother. We all went out to eat. We went to a Ponderosa. This is a great
I remember
So
Ponderosa.
when we finished eating, we went to the neighborhood bar to play some pool. So while I was there playing pool, you know, cause back then I was real flamboyant. So when I came in, the DJ said my name, and you know, I put everybody some drinks. I was one of that type of person. Flash New York dude, typical New York dude. So anyway, I stood there until the last call of alcohol, which is about 2 a.m. And then I walked back home, which was a good 20, maybe like a 15-minute walk, but I was drunk, so it took me 20 minutes. I stopped and saw everybody. So anyway, I made it home. When we went home, I was drunk. I fell asleep on the floor, and I had my son with me. My Sunday quarrels with me. So anyway, the next day, I missed my flight. So the next day, I had to move around a lot to catch a flight 9 o'clock in the morning. Now, unbeknownst to me, 2 people got killed that night, unbeknownst to me, right? So while I'm in New York, I was in New York. I left. This is like I was there Wednesday or Thursday. I came back Sunday night. So when I came back Sunday night, you know what I'm saying? We heard about it, but you know, it's like when we heard about it, we know like a crackhead got killed. So we not paying attention because at this time I'm selling to mid-level drug dealers. I'm selling like ounces, half an ounces, stuff like that.
Yeah, you say
with bullets and stuff like that. Yeah, to mid-level drug dealers. So at this time, I'm not hands-on with the crackheads. I'm not hands-on with crackheads. So we're not really paying attention to it. There's a lot of police like presence in the project, and this is like basically where I get all my money from. So we was like basically flooded out of the project. Couldn't get no money out there. So you know, I'm still going around doing what I do. I'm not even knowing that we suspects they are after us. They looking at the New York news. You know, we never really had no problems out there in Wayne, Ohio. Wayne, Ohio is, you know, like the project is basically poor blacks. You know what I'm saying? The same way, you know, we all grew up poor. And it's like, I never had any problems down there. You know, I'm out of town. I was liked by all. You know what I'm saying? So we're not really paying attention. So one of my co-defendants, Edwards, he got arrested first, probably about 10 days after the crime. You know, he was out there and he just pulled over by a false thing. They ran this thing. Anyhow, they ended up locking him up, and he ended up getting 30 days. So we're not paying attention. Like, I only got 30 days for giving him a false thing. What we really paid attention to is after his 30 days was over, he ain't come out. They charged him for murder. So we like, damn. You know what I'm saying? So that's when we took it serious. So, I'm a black dude. When I do that, I ran. You know what I'm saying? I left Ohio, and I went back to New York. So, to make a long story short, I ended up catching a fed case and everything. I ended up catching fed time. And as I was doing my fed time, Ohio put a hold on me. Right? So anyway, I come back to Ohio, I go to trial, I blow trial. But the thing is, because we had nothing, we don't know nothing about this murder. So the first victim name was Marsha Blakely, right? And she ended up getting killed. She got stabbed up and ran over with a car. And the second victim name is Floyd Epps. He's like the neighborhood drunk. He got ran over by a car. And they said that he has the same type of cuts and stabs as Marsha Blakely cars in the neck area.
Did this happen the same night? These murders?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. It allegedly happened, I think it was August 8th or August 9th of 1991. So the thing that connects them together is Marsha Blakely sometimes lived with Floyd Epps. Like they live together. It's like it's his apartment, but sometimes she occasionally stays there. So that's what connects the two together. But they never charged anybody with the Floyd Epps murder. They put it as basically like a hit and run. Like he got hit by a car and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how the police looked at it. You know what I'm saying? It's deeper than that. So anyway, they came up with a story. There's a William Avery that's the eyewitness. He came up with a story. I know William Avery. We know him as BB, but I really never dealt with him. You know what I'm saying? I never really dealt with him. I know him for being in the project.
Was he a smoker or a hustler?
He was both. He was a hustler, undercover smoker.
Alright.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I didn't even know he smoked, but I didn't deal with him. You know what I'm saying? My brother figured out with Cleveland, he dealt with him on the basis, like an everyday basis. I ain't did it. I really did. I didn't like him. It was like, to make a long story short, I was dealing with another female outside of my baby mother, and I didn't know she was related to me. So one day I spent the night at her crib, and my baby mother came over there looking for me, and he basically told me where I was at. So I never liked him. I didn't like him. There's something about I didn't like him. Anyway, I didn't know. We didn't know he was a crackhead, number one. Number two, we didn't know that his father was an informant. I didn't deal with people. You know what I'm saying? So right now, most likely, dealt with him more than I did because I didn't deal with him. So anyway, unbeknownst to us, BB comes with a story. First, his father comes with a story because they got a award with a double homicide. His father comes with a story that we owed us money, and BB goes to Al and was like, yo, if you need somebody beat up or whatever, I'm the man or whatever, this, that, and the third. And for some apparent reason, we went over to Floyd Epps' house. To this day, I still don't know where Sunset Projects or whatever the name is, where that. I don't even know where it's at. To this day, I still don't know where he told me the address. I was like, where in the way, like, I know where the train tracks and all that is at, but I don't know where eventually we supposed to go over it. So we go over it, and Marsha's supposed to be over there. BB's supposed to be Marsha. He refused to because he said he went to school with him. So 4 grown men. It's supposed to be me, Monday, Vincent, and Wendy. That's 4 grown men. We're supposed to attack this female, beat her unconscious, drag her across the field, put her into a car, and take her to wherever she got murdered at. This is BB's story. So when the police goes to the apartment, it's no blood. It's nothing entirely crime. it's nothing that ties to a woman getting beat up by phone.
Most wrongful convictions have no evidence linking the person to the crime.
That is all for laws assault. So later on, after back and forth with Pee and them interrogating him, and he gets the partial, the world money or whatever they give him, he keeps changing the story. He's a dude that always forever recants his story. You know what I'm saying? So he changed the story, right? And he comes up with another story. So now, when it's time for him to go to trial, he just.
And let me say this, people watch too much of these crime shows. You know, like they have the real ones that used to be on ID channel, and then they got the ones like what's that show? My sister like the scripted ones, and people really they think that these investigators play through all these different motions, and they are truly there to go get the bad guys like they are on TV and stuff like that. In real life, it don't really work like that. But we're believing that's how it really goes because, you know, that's the illusion that we are sold. We're sold that illusion that there is this such thing as justice. I say it's like finding out, you know, you try to go see the Wizard of Oz and then you realize who the wizard really is. Like the wizard really is not nothing like you thought it was, and you thought the wizard could do this for you and do that for you, aka give you justice. And if you didn't do nothing, you're gonna be found innocent. These are the things that you just blindly think are gonna happen, and this is why, because I guess they did a really good job of selling this to. Selling this to society, that society can't deviate from the thought that justice does not come from this system all the time. They cannot, I don't care how much evidence you show, I don't care how much they don't want to believe that at all. So we all have to live in this illusion of justice just because people won't open their eyes.
Before he could understand, he approached Rosenbaum. That's the prosecutor name was John Rosenbaum. He approached the prosecutor and told the prosecutor, like, yo, we want $10,000 or I'm not testifying. Rosenbaum got to get the money, and they did. So whatever happened between them two, he begins to understand and say he lied to everything. He only lied on the boy money. So they locked him up. So he gets locked up now. Then what Evans get a mistrial, but they don't let him out. So now he's sitting in jail. He's sitting in jail. He runs out a story to tell. He comes and calls. Okay, what you say?
So you think you know Wix? Do you really?
Was the first one who got the.
So he begins to understand and say he lied for everything. He only lied on the boy money. So they locked him up. So he gets locked up now. And then what Evans get a mistrial, but they don't let him out. So now he's sitting in jail. He's sitting in jail. He runs out a story to tell. He comes and calls. Okay, what you say?
No, so Edwards was the first one who got the 30 days for giving his name. Right? All right, okay.
Yeah, and then,
Right.
then it ends up turning into aggravated murder while he was sitting in jail. Because this is what he comes with the story. So after the mistrial, and he's still sitting in jail, DB comes with another scenario now. He contacts the police, and when the police come see him, or FBI, whoever comes see him, he changed the story and said, I ain't tell y'all the truth. Actually, I was there when Marsha Blakely got murdered. That's what he's saying. That he actually was there, and now, instead of him being a witness to the Bernard's assault, now he's a witness to the actual murder. But now he's leaving out for us now. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that these two crimes is connected. He leave out for us. So now he's able to testify, and then when that was trial, he testified in Benson Davis' trial, he testified in Albert Cleaver's trial, and he testified in my trial. He swore to the trial within a 5-year span. He testified in 4 different trials for all inconsistent testimonies of what allegedly happened. And we all get found guilty. Right? So around 2004, 2005, around this period of time, he's living in Detroit. He gives his life to the Lord. He's working. He's not on drugs no more. He's no longer crackhead. And for some reason, he went to the FBI on his own. And when he went to the FBI,
Hello?
he said, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is terrible in this prison.
You good, bro? You good?
Take the time.
So he goes to the FBI and he comes to the FBI to recant. He comes on his own. He wasn't forced, he wasn't paid. He came to the FBI on his own and he said that he felt bad because he got over 4 people.
You have 1 minute remaining.
For a murder that he didn't do. I can call you back. I'm going to call you right back.
Yeah, call me right
I'm
back.
going to call right back.
Alright.
Our GTL, you can't call back to 30 minutes later.
Hello. This is a
You
prepaid
gotta be
debit call
30
from
minutes
Sure.
max.
an inmate at the Wrongful Correctional Institution. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call. This call is from a DRC correctional facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Utilization of an unapproved application and 3-way calls to communicate are strictly prohibited and a violation of DRC policy. Thank you for using GTL. Thank you for using GTL.
Please.
Alright, go ahead.
Alright, so he goes to the FBI on his own and he explains to them that he wanted to come clean and tell the truth because he gave his life to God and he works and all that. So he came on his own now. Not on 4 men that's wrongfully convicted for a murder they didn't commit that he really didn't know nothing of. And the reason that he came forward was because of the award money. So the FBI do what they do. They look into it or whatever. But I'm in prison at the time for a federal charge, but I also got this conviction for Marshall Bacon's murder. But I'm never notified. I'm not told nothing about it. I don't know nothing about it. My co-defendants don't know nothing about it.
You say you got a conviction? You say you got a conviction?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a conviction. I got found guilty in 1997 for the murder of Marshall Bacon and from William Avery's testimony.
But you wasn't there at the trial? Was you there at the trial?
Yeah. I came back for the trial. I came back in 1996. I was in the feds. They came and got me.
Oh,
So
okay.
anyway, when he recanted, and they looked into it, they didn't tell us nothing about it. We didn't know nothing about it. Albert Cleveland found out about it because he was doing time in Ohio, and he was staying on top of the case, staying in the law library, and he had his family and loved ones looking into it. So when they found William Avery already explained to him, like, yo, I recanted. I went to the FBI. Yeah, but anyway, the most story short, they ended up getting an affidavit. Albert Cleveland got an evidentiary hearing, but it was denied because the prosecutor, the judge, told Avery that if they find him, like, if he lied, they was going to give him 5 years for every trial he testified in. He actually testified in 5 trials. One was a mistrial and 4 different trials. So he added that up. Was like, man, I ain't trying to do 20, 30 years. So he pleaded the 5th. So Albert Cleveland lost his murder crime, but this line who he recants, now he's pleading the 5th at the evidentiary hearing. So Albert Cleveland ended up losing the evidentiary hearing. So he ended up doing this time. So anyway, I'm going to bring you up to state. So I came to the state in 2015 because Oklahoma changed the drug laws on the federal guidelines. So I came back 18 and a half years.
This is why y'all should care about rehabilitation, because laws can change at any time and anyone can be released.
And in the process of that, this is how I come up in 2023. I come up with Joshua Dubin. That's my lawyer's name, Joshua Dubin. So anyway, Joshua Dubin is on the case. and he's doing research. He's seen that this case is built on a whole bunch of lies, and that the police they didn't really do their homework, their investigation, and he
You
and
be
his
more
team
investigated than they do.
sit down with the prosecutor, who at the time named is J.D. Thomason. J.D. Thomason sits down with my team, and they go over the facts and findings of our innocence. J.D. Thomason listens. After it is over with, he goes and does his own investigation. This is in 2024. He goes and does his own investigation, his own research, go over it, and then he sees that we are actually innocent, that we did not do this murder, that we are framed. So he agrees and put in a motion. He filed a motion with the court, dismissal of our conviction. But the thing is, the prosecutor was on his way out because he lost the election, and there's a new coming prosecutor that's supposed to came in January 6th of 2025. So anyway, the new prosecutor comes in, and some way, somehow, will get
Most likely who won was one of them ones that said that they're tough on crime. And then we be like, oh, they're for us because they're tough on crime. They're trying to keep our community safe. But then why the community ain't no safe? All this tough on crime. I mean, it seems like it should, mass incarceration. Shouldn't our communities be somewhat safer? It's crazy. Don't add up to me. My Wi-Fi don't go on the bed. Just blending the shaded area.
motion withdrawn. We are still stuck in prison.
Hello?
You hear me?
You said you get a motion withdrawn what?
We're still stuck in prison.
Oh yeah. So she was telling me about that. So the motion was withdrawn by the new prosecutor.
Yeah, so I'm saying, I never heard this in my life, man. This I can't lie about this, man. This can't be made up, man. The prosecutors, the
They make up their
prosecutor,
rules however they
at
want
his
to,
home,
as
after
they
my
plan.
team went in there, my ladies went in there, showed that how we innocent, how it's impossible for this crime to even happen the way the witness said it happened, the horrific.
All that due process goes out the
Things
window.
showed that it couldn't happen this way. Alfred Cleveland was in New York seen as parole officer. It was impossible for him to be in two places at the same time. He has the great alibi witness, right? Then I got 4 alibi witnesses. Then when the prosecutor goes to Wallace and saying we're innocent, he files a motion to get our conviction dismissed. The new prosecutor gets the judge to stall until he's sworn in.
That's because they all know each other behind the scenes.
And he gets the motion withdrawn.
It's more than just business. These are relationships, like I told you about when I used to do music conferences. Going to music conferences and DJ would say, it's not about your art, it's not about your music, it ain't about it's about relationships. And he ain't never lied. That's what it be about. Them relationships. That's what's gonna get you somewhere. And that's what a lot of this is decided, not in those court dates, trials. It's decided behind the scenes with those relationships.
Okay, I'm still sitting in jail.
So what your lawyers do then, or what your lawyers talking like now?
Right now, they not giving up. That's one thing about my team. My team refused to lose, refused to fail. So they playing right now, but my thing is, I feel, you know what I'm saying, that we need national attention on this case because there's a lot of, there's a lot of grimy stuff going on, man, with Miranda.
Yeah, I didn't see that when I was looking for. I didn't see that much on this, really. But they definitely don't want to break these type of stories. These are the type of stories they don't want to put on mainstream media. Because they want y'all that blindly support and believe in the system to just keep on with the blind support.
With the court system. There's a lot of stuff coming out of this. Like, I never knew there was a turn of suspects on this case. There was a lot of things that I never knew about this case, and it points to other people and not to the New York dudes, to the New York drug dealers, that we didn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
And now, when you got the wrong people sitting up there incarcerated, you know how many decades they are behind on that case. So how would they actually really find the person that really outed the two people
And there's a lot of things that I'm learning
at
now
this point?
that I didn't know before. You know, like you gonna know your case like nobody else gonna know their case. But there's a lot of things that it's not in the.
I wish this is what these lawyers, all these people going to law school and doing all this, getting these degrees. I wish they had the heart to actually defend people the way they. It's mostly about money for a lot of them. Some of the lawyers get paid just about the most out of all lawyers.
The prosecutor now was upon a part of this case. I never knew that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So the prosecutor was a part of this case. So in 2010.
That could be conflict of interest. That's why you getting the stuff taken out, the motions taken back out, and all that.
It was an anonymous tip. Now, 2010. This is like 19 years after the murder happened.
You know what just came to my mind? Set apart to serve. She always talks about the kingdom of God, and in the kingdom of God, it's not going to be like this. Like all this injustice, all this underhandedness. If you can just imagine what they're doing, and then in the name of justice, like, oh. We have got to turn from our wicked ways so that God can heal our land. You know, this world is crazy. And we got kids and grandkids that inherit this world that we have destroyed in the name of money for them. So they got money, but now we have no hope in this world. Well, your hope ain't really even supposed to be in this world like that, though. But it's just sad that this is the future we're passing down to our children. Good is bad, bad is good, right is wrong, wrong is right. Pastor Troy ain't never lied. Heaven was hell and vice versa. If I told you go to heaven, would you say I cursed you? Yeah. This world is flipped vice versa. Innocent is guilty. Guilty found innocent. Time and time again. It's inverted. The righteous is the ones that seem like suffer the most. The innocent. And it almost hardens you and makes you want to, be like them so that you know, just like him, he said whatever he had to say to get him 10,000, to get him 10 grand. Didn't care about throwing somebody under the bus, and he's basically rewarded for that. While if they didn't do this, they're being punished for being innocent. That's why it doesn't make sense to me why most people don't care about wrongful convictions, because that's a target on the innocent people, innocent law-abiding citizens, like they love to call themselves. They love to tell you, just don't do crimes, and you don't have to worry about it, like as if it was that easy. They got to fill them prisons, y'all. It's quota. Okay. And if you ain't got enough guilty, you got to start filling with the innocent. Most times, the guilty is cutting deals and on the streets anyway. That's why your neighborhoods ain't gonna safer.
So they got a knowledge tip about two alternative suspects. So the police got in contact with the prosecutor's office, and who's the prosecutor officer that they got in contact with? Tony Settle. That's the prosecutor right now, the new prosecutor. So he looks into it. He interviewed the two alternative suspects, and it's nothing. It's not even no reports or nothing of what happened about this. One of the suspects' wives reported that this dude came home covered in blood, and he was trying to get blood out of his clothing the same night as the murder. But this is never brought up. This is something that I never knew about.
Yeah.
I'm just learning about this now.
Yeah, I just read that in a little summary.
Yeah, I never knew about this. This is what I get found guilty for. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so during your trial, like how did your trial go? Like did you have a court-appointed lawyer? Was it an all-white jury?
And then, like, if they're tried separately, can't you reflect each trial against each other? Because the same person is testifying against that person. That means there got to be a lot of conflicts. He would have said one thing in one trial, said something else in the other. Because it's those small inconsistencies that adds up to, yeah, this person is not really telling the truth. So it's like you just comparing the cases. If they were ever the two that's out, they could still fight to exonerate themselves as well. And then they also, I know they're trying to get their life together after being paroled, but they as well could try to help these two. I mean, I know it's hard. It's an uphill, up mountain, up everything battle trying to get someone wrongfully incarcerated. Trying to get an innocent person out of prison is difficult. You'll get a guilty person out of prison before you get an innocent person out. It's hard, but it does happen. And there are those stories that break through and actually get overturned, and they actually let it go. But that's why I'm like, God, if this is my calling, like he gave me a hard calling. Like I always wish I had a different purpose. Like this is one of the toughest things to do in life. I never would have thought I would have been an advocate for criminal justice, prison reform, and for wrongful convictions. That, of course, would have been nothing I ever would have said, yeah, this is my purpose in life. But usually your purpose aligns with whatever mess you've been through. You go through the storm to lay the groundwork for the next person coming down. You basically are clearing the path for them. Whoever is connected to you. So you making it, you walking in your purpose, is connected to others. Even getting in their purposes and actually becoming whatever God put them here for. But this is a hard one. This is a hard one. I think this is probably why from the beginning, when I was a child, God started, separating me and basically teaching me why I went through bullying, why I went through all that stuff, because I wasn't accepted. I was never, you know, got to where I didn't care if I was ever accepted. I don't even try to be accepted. So because I've always been an outcast can pretty much speak their mind because nobody likes them anyway, right? Nobody likes the outcast. So I could tell you about justice all day long. I can tell you the truth. And you can call me names, call me stupid, say I just love criminals. You can do whatever because I've been insulted almost my whole life from childhood. Starts back when I was the only black girl in school, one of two black children, and was made fun of and bullied for being black. Like, it started a long time ago, but this is a hard purpose. But it needs to be done. They don't need to keep putting innocent people in prison, y'all. Like, it's crazy. I wish y'all cared. I really do. Anyways, this video is getting really long. Did my shading. So the next step from here, sorry, is to draw in the book. And then I'm going to fix a little more of the details on the outline. Alright, I guess I'm turning in a little bit earlier tonight. 1 o'clock, not 5 o'clock. But thank you guys for joining me. Sorry, my recording is just, it's too much that be going on in my life. I be trying to make my recordings cleaner, but it just don't work out. So even with all the flaws, thank you guys for rolling with your girl. Alright, it's your girl Cadillac, and hopefully I take y'all with me to go send this out Tuesday before I'm rushing to work, girl. Alright, talk to you later.